Good evening, everyone. Nothing like being about to go on stream and realizing you don't have batteries in your mic, because that's just like some pro streamer level stuff right there. Hey, Mega Gamer. Welcome, Retronian. How are you? Hope everyone's had a good day, good weekend. It is the week of the K-Fest, as they say, in Apple II land. Yes, I took the darn batteries out. Exactly, that's what I did. That is so on brand for me. So it's been a day, and yeah, least enthusiastic stream title. I don't know. Part of me wasn't even gonna stream tonight, and then just like I'm gonna settle in. I'm gonna do some retro stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna be sitting here at the bench doing retro stuff. May as well stream it. Because literally, why not? Sorry, I'm missing some lights here too. Let me get some more on there. That's a little tiny bit better. Hey, Rob O'Hara, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, Rob. Okay, so it was you or your buddy who bought that arcade stick at Boatfest. I found the feet for it. For whatever reason, when I had that thing open to work on it last, I didn't put the rubber feet back on, and I found them in a baggie. So I need to contact you on Discord, get an address for you or your buddy, and I will get those mailed to you. Sorry about that. It's been crazy. But we have fun stuff to do. We have a package. And this package should contain an Atari 800XL logic board, which I love picking up for cheap on Fleabay because it's a good way to source Atari customs. And as I'm wandering over here, realizing I don't have my power supply ready, give me just a minute, because this thing is going to work a whole lot better if I plug it in. Probably 102 there. Yeah, that is not fun. That's not a lot of fun. It was a mere 94 here, I think, today. So, yeah, let's work my camera over here just a little tiny bit. I wish I had a better rig that could go like way above and straight down, but I don't. Hashtag apartment life. So yeah. My big goal tonight is to get my Apple II GS set up. But before I do that, I need to test this because I just bought it and I need to make sure it works. Let's see. It certainly is taped up nicely. Hopefully the inside looks as good as the outside. Clearly reused mailing box. Yeah, it's unpleasant in many parts of the United States. Actually, many parts of the whole world. Not even limited to the United States. All right. And, oh look, even comes with the shield. I'm gonna throw it away in 2 seconds, but it's cool that they included it. Cooler than it will be next summer. Thanks, Amiga Gamer. Always look on the bright side of life. All right, well, yeah, I guess let's, well, actually, as we always do when we're working here at the bench before we turn on our machine, basic electrical safety checks. So let's get the meter going. Just set it on resistance here, and let's see, the big thing I want to check is make sure nothing's shorted. So this is the power socket on an Atari XL. Zoom in a little bit. it basically half of these pins are positive and half of these pins are negative, and they just spread the current out across them. And oh look, they've included a spare screw jammed into the SIO connector. Screw that's probably supposed to go into the shield, probably right there. Anyway, so basically we can get down here, just measure across these pins, see the big thick trace there. 270 some ohms, that's good. Hey, T-Shack, what's going on? Tom, this is everyone, Tom. He's the main hacker behind the FujiNet. FujiNet being the awesome thing for the Atari 8-bit. And more platforms now even, not just Atari. So, let's go ahead and fire this thing up. It's interesting, in the eBay ad, it did not have the shield on. It was showing the bare board, so I guess they put the shield back on just for shipping, which is nice. From the display kernel from the example in the hardware manual, which was written by Carl Shaw. Nice, nice. Turn the power off there. Plug in our 5-volt wall wart. Now I need video cables. This cable, unfortunately, is not set up for stock audio. It's set up for my modified audio from my Daily Driver 800 XL. So we won't get audio, but we will get composite. Let's flip over here. I'm running through the, what do you call this thing? I'm running through the Medusa tonight. I don't have the retro tank out for whatever reason. I have the Medusa on the board, on the bench, but that should be fine. So let's see what we get. We should actually get dumped into the self-test, I think, because we have no key. Oh, nope. We don't. Self-test. Okay, cool. We're ready. So at least the basics work. That's cool. Let me see if I can get a cartridge onto this thing. We can test some games. We'll run with the Ultimate Cart, which I think I can launch a game without the keyboard. That's the only problem, is I got no keyboard connected to this thing. Alright. XL. Games. Pick anything. Galactic Chase. That sounds good. Well, that certainly looks good. And now I probably have to press start, don't I? Because I'll expect you to have a keyboard attached. Silly expectations. Anyway, enough of this works that I think I'm satisfied enough to leave positive feedback and conclude the eBay transaction. We could test the customs, actually. Since it's supposed to be a socketed board. Koala paint image on the front. Jay says messed up colors. Oh, okay, cool. I know nothing about that. That's literally the first time I've ever seen it. Picked something totally at random. Very good Galaxian clone. Cool. Yeah, I literally just picked up this board to have a cheap set of customs. That's it. Actually, my camera's doing okay even without the overhead light, so maybe I'll leave it that way. Last year or year before, someone had a case-damaged Atari that they were... actually, I think it was even worse than case-damaged. It was pretty messed up, not worth fixing. And so I bought the customs off of them. Got a pretty good deal on it. I think I paid $80 for the full set. Same guy who would later write Star Island, Greystone, and Gyrus for Rockland. Oh, Gyrus. That's a good game on the Atari. I like that. For those of you who don't know much about the 800 XL and the Ataris, it's basically 4 chips. There's 4 main custom chips that really make up an Atari, make an Atari what it is. And it's Antic, GTIA, Sally, and Pokey are the code names. And Pokey in particular is unobtainium. So any chance I can get to get a cheap Pokey, I will take it. Alright, so I've not seen this bodge before. Maybe Tom has. I'll bet Tom has. Tom's seen everything. Ooh, MOSTEC 4564s. MOSTEC DRAMs. Good solid Tremel quality parts right there. And yeah, so here's our customs. 12294, that's Pokey. This is just a 6520. This is a VIA, nothing particularly special here. This is, I think, Antic, GTIA, and I think this is Sally CPU. You know what? It's actually pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and test them, because why not? So I'm gonna get out my Backbit Chip Tester Pro. We will fire this guy up and test all the customs. Let me get my chip puller. Look what I did with it. There we are. Just off to the side of the shop. All right, now I'm going to turn the light on, but I'm going to drop the brightness a little bit. Okay, where did I put the power cable? Sorry, the Chip Tester Pro takes a weird power cable. Here it is. So the Chip Tester Pro, very cool device made by EV of Backbit. I was testing I was ripping ROMs with it last. But we can come over here and select the Atari specific, and we'll go 14805. That's GTIA NTSC. Sorry, the background music is actually just being ever so slightly annoying here in the studio, so I'm gonna turn it a little down. Studio, it's my spare bedroom. Basically, you select the chip you want to test, press the thing to select it, and then it tells you how to configure the power. So we get a negative jumper from this side. I place it at position 3. It senses that I've done it right. It says, okay, remove the chip, make sure there's no chip in there. Press test. Now it says to place a positive at position 35. So we'll grab another little jumper on a +5. Put that at position 35. Test again. Ready to test. So now, whoops, I pressed the button and it failed because there's no chip in there. Let's get the chip puller. Pull out our GTIA. All right. A little arrow here indicating which direction to insert the chip. Make sure you do this right. All right, the notch on the right side. Test. Pass GTIA NTSC. Cool. Now, we'll back out and hit 12296, which is the Antic. And that wants the negative at position 1. Positive at position 29. I love that it lets you know you got the power right. our antic. Some of the pins need to be straightened here. Just a second. Hey, Commoner Chronicles, how you doing, Adam? Welcome into the stream. We're testing all the chips on this Atari XL board that I just bought. The board works, and we booted a game from cartridge, but I don't have. It's not fully hooked up, so I can't fully test it. All right, test our antic. Passed. One more test. Passed. All right. Light is green. Trap is clean. These are some cruddy sockets, but seem probably do the job. All right, and now we have a 14806 chip. That's Sally. Yep, that's the CPU. Negative at position 29. Test. Positive at jumper 8. Ready to test. Yeah. My piece of junk chip puller not gripping properly. That's not good. Get my little lever tool here to get this one out the rest of the way. I don't want to bend these legs. I mean, it's only Sally, but still, I'd rather not bust it. Feels like this is the first time these chips have been out of the socket. All right, ready to test Sally. Notch on the right side. Test. This is such an amazing little device. I love it so much. Sally passed. Cool. So far, we're 3 for 3. And the last one, pokey. That's 12294. All right, negative at position 1. Look at how every single one of these chips has power in a different spot. Positive at 17. Ready to test. All right, let's see if I can get the chip puller onto pokey here. Oh God. Ah. That's really being a pain in the butt. I'm gonna get the lever tool on it. Back row pins doesn't want to come loose. There we go. I think I got it. Almost. Okay. Definitely the first time this chip has been out of the socket. Which is good. Alright, moment of truth. The $65 chip. Passed. Yes. Now this of course can't test the analog part of the chip, but all the digital stuff, because this chip does a lot of things in an Atari. All right. Customs tested. We'll plug it in one last time, make sure it can still boot our cartridge. All right. Yep. Got it. Cool. So that will go on the shelf as a spare. And I pretty much always get rid of these boards here, but the shields rather. But I think in this case I'm actually going to reinstall it, because it will do a half decent job of protecting the board and the customs. Precious, precious little Atari chips. How's everyone doing out there in computer land? Besides being hot. Hey, Texas Foose, what's going on? What's a hot temperature wise? Not going to complain when the rain is sorely. No, yeah, we've been getting some good rain here, and as you say, sorely needed. Also, welcome in, Bahamut. How you doing? You're in drought? No, ooh, not good. Let's all wish Texas Foose some rain. What part of Texas is that? I'm quite unaware of where you are geographically, other than Texas, which doesn't narrow it down but so much. San Antonio, okay. My company is headquartered out of Houston, so I get a lot of updates, but they're always about Houston. Seem to have one more screw then. Seems like 2 would be the optimal number of screws to have at this point, but I only have 1. Cool. All right, well, that's a spare set of Atari Customs. Oh, sorry. That's all on the wrong scene there. One spare set of Atari Customs. Unfortunately, it's NTSC Customs, but that's okay. Mostly, I'm just happy to have the Pokey, because let's be honest. The rest of these chips are easy to get, but Pokies are unobtainium. So now we're done with the Atari silliness. We can move on to the Apple silliness. So let's see, SCART cable. Put away my tools when I'm done with them, so my dad won't yell at me. Okay. And trouble using tools, not putting them back. Yeah, my dad would constantly give me crap about it. Of course, usually it's because it was his tools I didn't put away. So, you know, fair, totally fair. All right, now this guy, I just got an actual ADB cable in, so that's cool. I don't have to keep using an S-video cable to connect my keyboard anymore. And then got, all right, SD cards labeled down, because I screwed this thing up 2 years ago by putting the SD card in this way, being like, why isn't this going in right? Destroyed the SD card slot, had to solder on a new one. Okay, oh, right, keyboard and mouse, that would help. Keyboard. And yes, I know that's the wrong keyboard. I've been told. So for those of you who don't know about Kansas Fest, it's an annual Apple II vintage computer festival, day camp for nerds, get together. It's held in Kansas City, Missouri, in the blazing hot heat. And it happens pretty much every July. I've never attended in person, but during COVID they went virtual, and I got a big kick out of that. I'd sort of followed the fest, you know, through hashtag photos and stuff before, but it's my first chance to really sort of connect with folks in that community. It was fun. And since then, pretty much every time, every July, it's just like, that's the time when I'll drag out my Apple II machines, and they sit on the shelf otherwise. So this is my annual Josh uses his Apple IIs week. The ADB port there. And then, let's see, for the video solution, I'm using an RGB to SCART cable. Tempting to empty the garage out. That sounds like work. All right, now I've never tested the Apple IIgs, I don't think. with my Medusa scaler. So I guess we get to see if that works and how well that works. I picked this Apple II GS up from a local friend, my local retro buddy. He was big into Apple, still is. And he got this machine and it wasn't working right. And I figured it was probably the IWM chip. So I was like, yeah, I'll buy it off you relatively cheap. And then I was lucky enough to find someone who pulled an IWM off another board and sent it to me. So it's been fixed up with that. There's always a stack of GSs at Kansas Fest in the garage giveaway. Stack of everything. It's just like the highlight of the show, you know, get yourself that Apple II GS you never had or whatever. Which would have been awesome, you know, to not have to buy a GS, but I'm not at the point where I can invest in a full week for an Apple II conference. I'm just not that in love with the Apple II. I like it, it's a great machine, I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I don't know if I have an entire week in Missouri nostalgia for it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Let's see how this goes. I think everything's connected, right? Got the SD card in my W. So this is my floppy / hard drive emulator. So hopefully we'll boot off of that correctly. Hopefully we'll boot it all. Machines generally work better when you plug in the power. I guess they don't always work better when you plug in the power, but often. Take two. Hey, that's better. Yay! Oh, alright, so we've already loaded a disk. Scaling is way off on the capture here. Hang on just a second. See if I can... I don't know why it's behaving this badly. And it looks like it might be cutting off something on the right, but I don't have any control over that to fix it. It's the best I can do right now. I'll have to investigate the output from the Medusa. Okay, that's better. That's mostly capturing correctly, I think. Unknown NTSC, yeah. AKA Apple II video. Alright, we can actually get some audio from computers. So I'm going to shut down the foobar. Dad picked up a 2GS in the early 90s and told no one about it. Found the box out in the garage. He gave it away before he ever saw it. Oh no! No! When we moved into we bought a house in a neighborhood here over a decade ago. We were moving in, and we were either moving in or shortly after we got there, so I didn't really know the neighbors, right? But I could clearly see an elderly woman right across the street she must have been getting some help from friends or children or something, and they were just cleaning out an obviously cram-packed full of stuff garage, and I could see in the top of the skip an absolutely mangled Apple II. I think it was even a GS. And it was clear that the logic board had just been split in two, just absolutely cracked. And I was just like, God dang it. You know, so close. All right, we'll see if this works. This probably won't work because I don't have the caps lock down. I have no idea if a Apple II demo is even going to work on a 2GS. Looks like maybe not. Uh, how do you break into the ROM setup? Or maybe I can't do it at this point. Reset. Yeah, all right. Control, open Apple, escape. Control panel. Let me make sure I'm not... system speed fast. I need to change this. Normal. All right. Let's try this. See if this works better. Let's have a 2GS or Laser 128. We're happy to have your 2E. A 2E is a great machine. I have the 2GS and I have a 2C. Somewhere I have a 2C. Probably in one of my tubs. And the 2C was my main Apple II for a long time. But then I lucked into getting a 2GS. And a 2GS, I think, can be my main Apple II. Except I don't have a mocking board in this, and I actually do have a mocking board in my 2C. So that's kind of nice. Hey, Sinlan, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Dagnabbit. All right, see if this works on normal speed. Nah, this requires a real Apple II. Touches the hardware on too low a level, but that's fine. All right. Oh, this looks like it might be a demo. Let's see. Maybe. It's like, is that a dead machine, or is it a loader bar that's loading very slowly? A 2GS, yes, a 2GS, an Apple 2GS. Reset. Go into the ROM monitor, maybe. All right. Control panel, system speed. Now we want the system speed to be fast. SD to IEC for Apple II. Smart port drive emulator. So this is, since the machine's not doing anything useful right now, this is a W drive, and it is it can emulate a Apple II floppy disk or an Apple II smart port hard drive, which is what I have it connected to right here. You just log into your phone through the cassette audio port. Yeah, Apple IIs do support cassette loading. Proper Apple IIs anyway. Since we're not getting anywhere anyway, let me stop. I'll give you a tour of the machine. Uncommon, super expensive in Germany. I'm sure they were uncommon, super expensive. Well, they're super expensive in the United States too. Where is my cursor? There we are. Okay. Zoom out just a tad. So, the Apple II is kind of nice. It has these two tabs on the back. You just push in and it releases top case. Hot plugging PS2, like in a computer. I'm not used to hot plugging PS2 mice and keyboards causing problems, but that the machine may not recognize it when you hot plug it. Like it's electrically safe, but not necessarily. I think it's OS and or BIOS dependent whether or not it actually works. Oh, I notice I have my speaker disconnected. I guess that's because I'm just always used to running the audio at the back. So what we've got in here is power supply. Now this is a reactive micro reproduction supply, which I've since been told is a little bit of an unsafe supply to have in there. So I might be replacing it with a refurbished vintage supply at some point. Having PS2 and motherboards in DOS days, hot plugged these broken PS2 port. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it screwed up the port for that boot, but power cycling it, I thought, would make it okay. But, I mean, that's not to say there couldn't be an implementation that had problems. Oh, man. All right. Excuse me. Going in for a closer look. Oh, man. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, Sinlao. I did have computers with PS2. I still do have a couple of them. It's not a thing I've been super careful about, so maybe I need to look into that as well. Apple IIc to generate your stream intro, CRT's film. Cool. That's nice. All right. Memory expansion. This is a GG Labs RAM 4GS card right here. This gives me 4 megs, or RAM GS 4, yeah. So this is a 4 meg RAM board with 2 modern DRAMs on there, and I guess that's a PAL or a GAL or something to do the mapping. Let's see. Moving on back here, we have a. Let me see if I can move the camera around. There we go. This is a light sound board, and what this does is this splits out the Apple II's audio chip outputs into left and right stereo. The audio chip on the Apple II, which might be let's see if I can see it. It's an Ensoniq chip. And I'm not seeing it right now because it might not be branded Ensoniq. But it's basically the same chip that was used in an Ensoniq synthesizer and also in the Super NES. They all use this same audio chip. And this is if you can see it really, if my camera would focus, that would be really nice. So this is the sound RAM, and it has a dedicated 64 kilobytes of audio RAM because it's a sample based. It actually plays back PCM samples. And Sonic 5503, there you go. It's not designed to be hot swappable. It can in some most cases hurt the electronics. All right, there we have it. Straight from Wikipedia. So much new cool hardware for the Apple IIs. Yep, there absolutely is. Ensoniq Mirage and the ESQ1, yeah. One of those being a keyboard, and one of them being, I think, just a dedicated sampler. But again, Tom will know more than I will. All right, so the 2GS then has 256 kilobytes of fast RAM here, onboard 256K, and then this brings everything up to 1 meg. 4 megs rather. So it's a 4 meg machine. Here's our CPU, 65816. Do you have an ESQ1? Oh, nice. The game port header right here, although I think, is the game port, the joystick port also brought out to the back? Yeah, it is. So, moving on to the back. Internets are not liking Twitch tonight. Hey, Ian. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. See if I can turn this machine around enough where y'all can actually see what's going on. All right. The back of the machine. ADB, composite video, RGB video. This is the disk drive port, which can be either a 5¼ inch disk 2 device, I think, or it can be what's known as a smart port device, and that's what I'm using right now for this hard drive, is a smart port mode. Then joystick port. Sorry, move my hand so you can see. Printer, modem. See, these are both serial ports. Headphone jack, analog out, audio out, and then this part right here is the expansion audio port from the GS, the light sound. So this is the stereo audio, whereas the rest of these would just be mono and the beeper. And I'm not sure what's brought out to the SCART port, honestly, because I'll bet that is just the mono audio. So if I actually do something with stereo on this machine, if I rig up Ninja Tracker or something, I'll need to redo my audio setup. But that's the basic tour of the GS. Bring the camera back up where we were. SCART video and audio, European standard. PAL most likely. No, it's just an RGB video port, and it would normally connect to the Apple RGB CRT monitor. I just have all my stuff set up for SCART, so this machine was never connected to SCART in its day. It just is now, because that's the standard for scalers and stuff like that. For the RGB is usually SCART. I mean, there definitely were PAL Apple IIs, because there's the Apple II Euro Plus, which had a dedicated PAL video card to make it work with that. I don't know if there were PAL GSs. The GS was mostly an RGB machine. The composite out there is just, for compatibility and people who didn't want to spend the money, but it really was intended to be an RGB machine. Music production with trackers, absolutely. I'm big in the demo scene, big into tracked music, things like that. I have made a couple of tracked tunes myself. They're all terrible because I'm not a musician, but I really enjoy listening to tracked music, and I have a big collection of tracked music that I've converted, mixed, mastered, etc. for my daily listening collection. I know this fit on my desk a minute ago. My desk is honestly way too short for this amount of stuff that I make it do. All right. So now let's see if I can actually boot some, because this should be a 2GS demo that I have configured on here. See if I can get it going. Kernkompetens, it says. But maybe it won't work. It's not reading any data, no flashy light, nothing interesting on the screen. Seems to not be working. What am I doing to the Apple IIgs? Trying to make it go. Trying to make it do anything. Really. I've had this machine for a while and basically haven't done anything to it. So, all right. I do, however, have the latest version of Total Replay. So I can boot that. It's 8-bit stuff, but go ahead and boot that. Hopefully it will boot. Capture. So the video chain here is I've got whatever scaler I'm using usually sits. Yay, Total Replay. Okay, so this is version 5 of Total Replay, which has 330 games. I'll have to find my joystick in a minute. I'll go back out to the bench here. So stuff comes, out into whatever scaler I'm using. I have a RetroTink that I use sometimes. Tonight I'm using the Medusa because it was on the bench from before. That runs into an HDMI switch, which is back here hidden. And that splits it out to my bench monitor, and then down underneath the bench I have my AverMedia Extreme Cap, which is what's actually doing the HDMI capture. And then that goes to my modern PC off to the side here via USB 3. And it works pretty well. The AverMedia is a pretty good 1080p capture for USB. It's not amazing, but it's relatively inexpensive and does the job. So, well, I'm a little bummed that the demo didn't work, because I love me some demos, but I mean, really, I just want to get the thing set up so I can use it. Like I was saying at the beginning, this week is Kansas Fest, which is the annual Apple II gathering, Retro Fest in Kansas City, Missouri. And since I've been following that, I've never actually been, but I've been following it, and it's typically, that means this is the week that I get off my butt and I actually use my Apple IIs. So since I haven't done much with this 2GS since I got it, like I literally, last week was the first time I bought an ADB cable for the frickin' thing. Yeah, so the Medusa is a relatively modern device. If folks in the Atari community have heard of Lothric, he produces a lot of Atari peripherals. He did production on this along with the designers, and it was it's a scaler that's actually targeted at vintage computers rather than move the camera so you can see, rather than consoles and gaming systems like most retro scalers tend to be targeted. So it has like a built-in, its firmware has a built-in sort of database of video modes for a whole bunch of old machines, which I'm actually kind of surprised it's not recognizing this. But on this LCD here, sometimes it would, here it says unknown NTSC, but it can recognize a whole bunch of machines by the signature of the video, and it's designed to be very plug and play for old computers. Whereas like my RetroTink 5X that I have, it doesn't deal great with a whole lot of computers. Now, all of that said, this machine actually, the Medusa, I don't recommend it. I got this because it was given to me by a friend who bought it expecting great things and was like, no, this is not everything it was cracked up to be. It works really, really well for composite and S-video signals, but for RGB, and particularly my use cases, it has some major problems, one of which is it's very slow to sync to video mode changes. So if you're someone who's into demos like I am, then whenever the demo changes the video mode in the middle of the demo, you get 2 seconds of no audio, no video while the thing resyncs. So, yeah, not good. But I have it and it works for things. And I was kind of curious. It was already on my bench, and because the last thing I was trying to hook up by composite actually didn't work with the RetroTink. The RetroTink 5X's composite is not great. The RetroTink 2X composite is. So I have an RGB to HDMI, and the RGB to HDMI is fantastic if you can get it a signal that it's happy with. I need to build an RGB. I need to build a SCART cable for my RGB to HDMI, basically. And yeah, the RGB to HDMI will work great with Apple IIs. So if you have things like, sorry, it's a delicate balance getting this camera where it can see what I want it to see and also not block my vision of the monitor. The RGB to HDMI for Apple IIs is fantastic because it will directly parse what's known as the SERVID signal, the serial video signal. In fact, if I can find what I did with my 2C, I could demonstrate that. This is weird. I literally do not know where a computer that I own is. It might be in the other room. I might have to pop over there and get it. Yeah, it's a direct digital feed. It's parsing the digital serial video signal that's available on the video port on the 2C and reconstructing a pixel perfect HDMI frame. So yeah, RGB to HDMI I can recommend. I can recommend the shit out of that. Problem with RGB to HDMI is you need a Pi 2. You need a Pi 02, I'm sorry. That is the issue with RGB to HDMI, is it requires unobtainium Raspberry Pis. This is the stream that goes off on retro tangents. Oh, I love these high-res graphics in this thing. This is so good. Yes, it should be possible to redo it with an RP2040, because the RP2040 can bit bang the thing. What you don't get is the lovely GPU that's built into the Pi to do additional scaling. Because yeah, here's my RGB to HDMI. This is my RGB to HDMI right here. Have to get it open to actually change, because I've got my CGA EGA cable on it right now. Hey, good night, Sin Lao. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for staying. Always good to see you. And have a safe drive tomorrow. This is my Box O video tools right here. So I'm sorry, actually, it doesn't require Pi 02. This is just a regular Pi 0 that I have it working with. So I am wrong. It can work with a regular Raspberry Pi 0. And those are only slightly easier to get, unfortunately. See, this thing is really pinching this cable. So actually, since I got it out, I'm going to nibble this case a little bit more, make room for this cable. Find my... You need an Apple II now. Everyone needs an Apple II, right? Because this case that mine came with is just a basic experimenter case for a Pi Zero that they drilled holes in for this stuff, the lights and the four switches, and then just like rather crudely cut the slot for the video cable. Managed to build the whole RGB HDMI setup into a 2C PAL modulator case. Oh, sweet. So it just attaches right to that port. That's awesome. Literally have your 2E on the nightstand, your guest computer room. Desks are taken. I mean, you do what you got to do, right? Right, Texas Foosballer? Laser 128 is completely torn apart. Because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? All right. All right. It's actually a little bit neater than the way it came. All right. That puts far less pressure on this cable. That's good. Finally got a 02W. Maybe you should build up an RGB to HDMI. Yeah, it's a fantastic tool, the RGB to HDMI. It works with so many machines, and there's a huge database on GitHub of profiles for it. Because that's the key, is it has to know what to do with this signal. But it's so flexible that I really do recommend it. Yeah, the Pi Zero seems to be fine. This is a Pi Zero W right here. So I've had a catastrophic capacitor failure. Oh no! Just built a power cord for the 800 XL. Awesome. How was your Atari saga going there, Commodore Chronicles, by the way? Now, let's see. The reason I got this out was in relation to the Apple II, because I at least used to have an Apple IIc serial video cable for this, and I don't see it. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the damn thing. That's a bummer. I wonder if it's possible I stashed that with my Apple II stuff, which is in a tub in another room. Because of course it is. The problem when you have 40 computers is you don't have a good place to put them all. All right, well, back to the gaming. What was I doing? Right, I was looking for my joystick. Okay. Tore into the IBM 5160 and messing with that. Haven't had time to do anything. I mean, that's totally fair. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, go find the joystick for this. I will be right back. Quick photo of your Apple IIe on the nightstand. Send you on Discord. Nice. Thanks, Texas. I have a whole working Roland system for it as a MIDI interfaces. Oh, cool. Picked up your first Atari 8-bit with the 800XL. 800XL is the best Atari 8-bit. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's the voltage is running a bit high. Go bad. Yeah, they do. Ooh, look at that. My OBS is telling me my internet connection is crap. I'm actually going to be acquiring a Roland SC88 from Polpo here. and it has the requisite serial port on it that I might be able to make it work with Mac stuff. So, sorry, I'm just going to try and see what it is that my computer is trying to tell me. Oh, okay. So anyway, getting back to the bench. Rummaging through my Apple II top with an HDMI port. That sounds fantastic. You just pop that thing on there, and it gets I think it can get enough power from the port too. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can see my OBS going not green sometimes. So I'll try and slow down and make sure I pay attention what's going on. Could be having a Comcast crap day. And then of course my mouse, which if I get my Apple IIc out, might work, because I found my Apple IIc. Yay! And I have it in the original case. Unfortunately, the zipper pulls are all broken on it, so I have to fight with these stupid things. And like this one, I could see some long time ago. I stuck a paper clip on to use as a zipper pull. Not sure of any good way to actually fix those. But okay, yeah. So this is, oh, okay. I see what I did. PAL modulator is a bit wider. See, oh, okay. That could be. So this is the RGB to HDMI adapter for the 2C that I built, which is just pins soldered onto a D sub 15, so that I could hit it with DuPont jumpers. So I didn't make a proper cable for it. I made the complete cheap and crap option to get an RGB to HDMI on there. Zipper pulls like that can be fixed. Okay, that would be nice to know, because it would be nice to be able to fix this up and not have it quite so janky, because it's pretty janky at the moment. But yeah, here's the Apple IIc, and this cable hanging out here is for my disk switcher, because it has an internal disk switcher that allows me to set whether the internal drive is the drive 0 or drive 1, or I guess slot 6 or slot 7 technically. So when I connect my external floppy MU, I can put this on there and boot off of the external floppy port. Oh, sorry, here's the floppy port. Here's the floppy port. That's the RGB port. Took 12 volts from the connector and used DC-DC buck converter module for the Pi. Oh, okay, so it doesn't need external power. All right, I wasn't sure if there was 5 on this or what. That's a very cool setup though. So this machine's it's not the clean. Well, it's fairly clean. It's not the cleanest machine in the world, but it's fairly clean. This one I got from actually the former mayor of the town where I live. I was doing some home network consulting stuff on the side of my old job, and I was doing some work for her, fixing up just, home Wi-Fi crap like that. And then she came to me with an interesting question, that she had some old floppy disks, 5 1/4 inch floppies, that her son had written some stuff on. He's sort of a well-known-ish in the area playwright, and apparently he'd written some plays on that machine. and just wanted me to recover the data. So I was into Apple II enough at the time that I was able to do that. I forget whether I just like printed it to the port and captured it, or if I actually ripped the discs and got it out in an emulator. I forget. But she was very happy to have that, and as payment for it, she basically gave me the machine. So that's how I wound up with my Apple IIc. And then later on, I acquired another Apple IIc from a friend, and that IIc actually made its way over to the UK and is now in the hands of Tim Drew of the Pixelgating podcast, courtesy of Pete Fletcher, who went over there and did a swap that Apple IIc for I think a Spectrum is what Pete picked up. Have a good evening, Commodore Chronicles. I'll talk to you later, man. Yeah, I love knowing the backstories of my machines. The Amiga 3000 that I used to have, which Tim now also has, its backstory was that it was used in a video production studio. It was the titling machine. It had a whole bunch of software in there for doing titles and scrolls and stuff like that. Put the mouse back in here too. W drive. Yes, this is a W drive. How's it going, Shell Schlock? Sorry. Welcome into the stream. Yeah, so I've got the W drive connected. I do want to switch over to the floppy EMU though, so I think maybe I will do that now. Yeah, the W drive is nice. It's a good, inexpensive alternative to the floppy EMU if you don't need Mac compatibility. If you do need Mac compatibility, floppy EMU is basically all there is. But, all right, I'm going to switch this over now. I think I have a longer cable. Well, I have this cable, but it doesn't fit on there because of these stupid nubs on the plastic housing. It won't actually go all the way into the port. But I thought I had here it is. I have a longer 20-pin IDC ribbon cable. So that'll work. Is the W drive? I think Chris has W drives in stock right now in the run up to Kansas Fest. So if you want a W drive, order it now. Don't have an SD solution for the 2C, still using floppies. Use of a CFFA. Yeah, the CFFA2. I'm familiar with the CFFA 3000. I don't know if the CFFA2 is a different thing. And there's going to be a new storage solution for the Apple IIs, a card-based storage solution released at Kansas Fest this week. I think it's called the Ultimate Drive, and it looks very, very nice. It's probably also going to be very, very pricey, but you know. Yes, FujiNet. I need to get on the FujiNet ball here for the Apple II and sort that out. Now that only does SmartPort. It won't do disk 2s. But most Apple IIs, many Apple IIs, actually most Apple IIs either can support SmartPort or can be beaten into submission to support SmartPort. I'll put it that way. Now I need to find the SD card that I just set up, because I'm pretty sure the first thing I'll need to do on this floppy EMU is take it out of Mac mode and put it in Apple II mode, because I think I have it in actually Lisa mode right now. Place a WAS image into one of the disk 2 device slots, pushing that's going to disk 2. Oh, so it does do disk 2 mode now. Ah, okay. I was not aware of that. Thank you for correcting me, Tom. 2 is so active. Yeah, the development community around Apple II is fantastic. All right. So let's get down here. Let's get down to business. So let's turn this on, and then I think I have to hold. Shoot. How do you do the floppy emu firmware update? I've got the PDF right here. Hold down select and previous and press reset. All right. Yeah, I think the ultimate drive is going to kick the CFFA 3000 to the curb. I'm really hopeful. We will see. All right, select and previous when power on. So let's do that. Floppy emu bootloader, flashing floppy emu. All right, because I copied the Apple II firmware to the SD card. All right, and it's a single unified thing that updates the controller and the CPLD now. So that's very cool. You don't have to do a two-stage firmware update. I just stepped on something sharp in my carpet. I hate that. All right, so we're in Apple II mode. Check startup device. Yes, yes, yes. Apple II discs. 5 1/4 inch. Demos, DigiDream, that won't help. Should be able to boot this. Okay, now we're booting the disk. And again, this is supposed to have this is supposed to be used with a 1 megahertz Apple II, but also with a Mockingbird. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's kind of a little bit funky on a fast Apple II because it's doing cycle counting, and that's not going to make it happy. All right, eject disk. So let's see what else I got. Okay, so this is that current competence demo that I had before. Go ahead and select that. Disk image not supported in the current emulation mode. All right, fine. I have to put it into smart port mode. I only have a second to do that. Disk emulation mode. Smart port hard disk. And turn off the computer to apply the settings. Okay, fine. They're just some annoying things about the floppy emu. Okay, all right. Now we're on to the Ninja Force mega demo. That demo was the I think it's the Apple II cycle counting mega demo, but it was from Outline 2021. That's weird. And it's by Desire is the group. Why are you not booting my demos? I know this worked before. Oh, disk's paused. Sorry. Okay. All right. Now we actually have the disk loaded. Let's launch the demo. Exit and start disks. Oh my God, this is the worst UI. It has to reboot and then, okay, so all right, now you're actually a hard drive. I think you're actually a hard drive now. Maybe not. Next, hard drive setup. All right, now it tells me disks are paused. Exit and start disks. All right, let's reboot the machine. Let's reboot the machine. All right, we've got disk activity. That's good. All right, so we can launch the demo. Launch the demo. There we go. Now we're launching the demo. All right, so your system is set to 60 hertz. Right. You might have to adjust your monitors. All right, set to 50 hertz mode permanently. That's fine. This chain should be able to handle 50 hertz, no problem. And for whatever reason, audio is not working. Basically, the only time a 2GS is awesome when it's acting like an Amiga. Yeah, pretty much. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Audio capture from my HDMI is completely broken. Grrr. Okay. Not cool. Not cool, machine. All right. Well, let's see how the stereo works anyway. Because I think this is what's going to be needed to get stereo. All right, and then I need an audio cable. No, not that audio cable. This audio cable? This audio cable. So this box is a Behringer mixer that happens to have USB connection. And my PC is set up, OBS is set up to accept this as a second audio source. So if I plug this in to the jack that I showed off earlier that's connected to the light sound card should be able to get stereo audio on 2 and 3. Maybe. All right. Similarity graphics in terms of 2GS and Amiga? Absolutely not. Not the slightest. About as far apart as you could possibly imagine. Sorry, I have to reconfigure something in my Windows sound devices. Device properties. Additional device properties. We want 2-channel, 48 kilohertz. Why are you not recognizing me? Okay, that should be working. Okay, yay. And it's in stereo. Yes, this is working. I've never had this going before, so that's very cool. Now what we need, though, is the stereo filter. There. Oh, the video is frozen. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, there we go. It didn't like it when I changed the everything. Good grief. Yeah, so this completely made OBS freak out. The bench cam? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Curtis. Cool. So yes, we have an Apple IIgs wishing it were an Amiga, basically. Joined just a couple of minutes ago. Hey, well, thanks for turning up. Yeah, 2GS demo, Ninja Force, running through my stereo audio breakout card, which I just now finally got working. Trying to figure out how to actually make it advance to another part of the demo. Yeah, I mean, it's a good sound chip. It's a proper Ensoniq sound chip, descended from the SID in some ways, developed by Bob Yanis, the same guy who developed the Commodore SID chip. The Orchestra 90 card, yeah. I have nothing for my Cocos. My Cocos get no good treatment. I'm sorry. All right, let's see if we can load the mega demo part this time. There's a possibility that I may be doing some more impromptu live streams over the course of Kansas Fest or Apple II Forever. So I want to have this thing ready to go so I can just light it up and do Apple II stuff online. Either video sharing through Discord or maybe on Twitch, I don't know. Nice. Job stuff is completely unchanged at this point. For those of you who may know, I was talking with I was interviewing at Northwestern University. I did not get that job. No, I'm not going to Kansas Fest. Otherwise, I would be on my way right now. Hey Adam, welcome back. Yep, we're doing a Ninja Force mega demo. Now that I have things actually working and stereo, and I still don't know what the hell is up with the HDMI audio capture. That's fine. I might switch over to using this for the computer audio capture just permanently because it works better. I would consider going to Kansas Fest at some point in the future. It's a big investment in terms of time and money, and the Apple II is not my favorite machine, you know, so it's a big investment for a machine that I'm not super into, but the community is really good, and I know a lot of friends in it, so I might. God, it's just so struggling to keep up right now. Somebody ban Commodore Chronicles, please. I'm kidding. All right, I'll press the any key. No, I think it's just stalling. Classic Amiga. Well, I'm good for the night. I don't know about y'all. Now I'm curious what this actually sounds like in dual mono. So I'm gonna temporarily turn off my mono filter here. Yeah, just like the Amiga. All right, let's actually do something here. Now this part of it slowing down might be because it's running through a very slow hard drive on the smart port. If I had a real hard drive in this thing, right now it would probably not, it might not be slowed down. Funny, I can see the Medusa switching resolutions too, because it went into 576 interlaced right now. Don't know what it's doing. All of them, Adam. You need all of the unused wall warts. You can never get rid of any of them. They will stick with you throughout your entire life. You will be buried with them. And then retro grave robbers will dig up your grave and steal all your wall warts. Yeah, the timing was off. I don't know why. Also don't know what the hell it's doing right here. So it's dead, Jim. Press all the keys. None of the keys do the things. Yeah. Hello, computer. What are you doing? I reset it, so it's got to bootstrap the thing again. Which means we get to listen to it load and decrunch over stuttering music. .699 kilohertz horizontal frequency, 50.3 hertz vertical. Yeah, I mean, I seriously might pick up one of these ultimate drives for it when they're released at Kansas Fest. Depending on, it all depends on price. The other option is I might pick up one of Reactive Micro's turbo drives, which is under $100 for a pretty fast hard drive, compact flash based. Unfortunately, it's not file based. It's just partitions on the CF card. So I can't just swap around hard drive files like I can on this external emulator. So that might be a big deciding factor if the ultimate drive does image file based stuff. You can use to power several different consoles, yeah. I've got two giant boxes full of wall warts. Come on, machine. All right, so that was the Medusa not handling that resolution change very gracefully. Hello, One Jove Meter. How are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm actually going to be winding up here shortly. I have things into a pretty good state now. I think I can stream from this machine for the next week. Using old wall warts all the time as power supply. Yeah, and that's what I was using too before I got my bench power supply. I was always, fishing out whatever random wall wart I needed. All right. We've been here. All right, don't launch the BBS intro. Let's try Dotland. Dotland sounds fun. See if that'll load. Thank you, Jove. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's grown into a bit of an unwieldy collection at this point. So many machines that I don't get them out enough, which is why I'm forcing myself to work with the Apple IIgs tonight. Yes, the struggle of the CPU is very real. Like the demo said, Apple really messed up on this machine with its lousy specs. All right, this sounds like it's at least loading. Yeah, I'm sure that was a big part of it. Didn't want it to compete with Jobs' precious Mac. Okay. Well, alright. That's a mega demo for you. But thanks everyone for hanging out. I think we're going to call it now. Happy to have this thing run and happy to see that the stereo card actually works and makes stereo. And I need a better hard drive, but such is life. TI-Link serial cable. Nice. I never had one of those. Alright, let's see what's out there. What's going on out there in Raid Land. See what Zero Page is up to. They have another 16 minutes before they actually go on. DJ Psycho, and Sid Heresy. We raid them all the time. Anyone got any suggestions? Hey, you welcome all. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. See you. See you. Have a good night, Tom. President McHammerguile, thank you. You're very welcome. Shellshock, Commodore Chronicles, Bahamut, Hungry Gorilla. Hungry Gorilla. Let's see. What is Hungry Gorilla up to? NBA Jam Cocktail Arcade Cabinet. Alright, that sounds good. Night, Curtis. Yeah, back to work. Back to work. Nope, that's not the button I want. This button. I can type. Kind of a bigger channel than I usually raid, but what the heck. Alright, folks, well, it's been a blast. I will catch you all later. Look out for possible shenanigan streams, and talk at you later.